And my guests today agree that everything in our life, what we eat, touch, wear, and use to furnish our homes, is linked to our health and well-being. Lisa Beres became very ill from living in a toxic environment caused by everyday trusted products. She discovered that products are not always what they seem. Most of the chemicals used today are untested and unregulated. And Lisa is here with her husband, Ron, and they are founders of HealthyNest.com, and they're certified green building consultants and authors of the brand new book, Just Green It. Welcome to your supernatural life, Ron and Lisa.
All right. Thanks for having us.
Thanks so much for having us.
Terrific. So, Lisa, let's start with you. Tell us about your health issues back in 2002, and how did you connect the dots to realize that it was your environment that was making you sick?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I didn't connect the dots right away.
Mm-hmm.
But ironically, I thought I was living a very healthy life before this happened, and I think this is what a lot of people, the place that they're at in their life right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I was an interior designer, so my job was to make homes look beautiful. And I moved into a newly remodeled home, and I was ecstatic that I found this place.
Mm-hmm.
It had new floors, new carpet, new windows, new cabinets, new fireplace, new everything,
Mm-hmm.
which, I thought was a good thing at the time. And right after moving in there, my health just started spiraling downward very quickly. I mean, it got to the point where I literally lost all my energy. I just couldn't even get out of bed in the morning. It was really a horrible time. And I started going to all these different doctors,
Mm-hmm.
and they were just looking at me puzzled, scratching their head, going, we don't know what's wrong with you. And I went to MDs, I went to naturopaths, went to acupuncturists, chiropractors. I mean, I tried everything.
Right.
And I thought, no one's helping me. I have to figure this out on my own. So I started researching and realizing, oh my gosh, there's chemicals in products in our home that are linked to the symptoms that I'm having.
Mm-hmm.
And as I started uncovering all of this, I discovered it, in fact, was my home. Obviously, the trigger point was when I moved in there, so I knew that I had gotten a lot of exposure to these chemicals. And it was about a year of learning and cleaning up my environment little by little to the point where my health finally improved and literally did a 180 at the end of the process. But I became obsessed with it. I mean, I was doing everything.
Now, you didn't have to move then? You actually?
I didn't have to move, no. And I really didn't want to because I loved the house and the location. And the truth is, someone's asked me before, well, did you sue? And I thought, well, no, because I didn't do anything illegal.
That's
these products are available to all of us on the marketplace. And
that's right. And the builders are not thinking that they're doing anything deceitful or unlawful. They're just using what's out there.
Yeah, I mean, this is approved by our own government, who are supposed to be protecting us.
Right.
But yet these chemicals, as you know, are linked to cancer and all types of problems. So, I got a heavy dose all at once, and it took a toll on my system really quickly.
And Ron, you didn't notice anything in your health, did you?
This is about almost 10 years ago, and we were engaged at the time, and I wasn't living there. So obviously I wasn't affected like Lisa. I mean, she neglected to mention, too, she also worked from home. So literally she was there all
the time, right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Wow. So congratulations that you were able to recover, and then you turned this into a career for yourself.
I did. I mean, there were so many symptoms that came from the home that people would never associate with problems from their home. I had a lot of hormone issues, which I thought was just a whole separate problem. But I actually discovered, now I'm a building biologist, and I study this every day for a living. But one thing I discovered was the hormone disruptors, the chemicals, the xenoestrogens, and all of these that are in these products. And this was taking a huge toll on my hormonal system. So it was just really astounding for me to discover, wow, a lot of women have their hormones out of whack and aren't really looking at, obviously, their personal care products, but even the cleaning products or pesticides or things that they're living with every day.
So what were some of your hormonal symptoms?
Oh my gosh, I literally, we'll get a little detailed here. I just completely stopped having a menstrual cycle.
Wow, that's dramatic.
It was dramatic. And the worst part, you'd think that might be a good thing, but it's really not, because I just felt PMSy all the time. Poor Ron. We were engaged.
No.
Survived. It was like PMS 24/7. And, hormones can make you crazy. Every woman knows. We've all had bouts of it. But to feel like that every day, it really goes to show you that these xenoestrogens that are in, many of the chemicals, that we live with, they wreak havoc on your body. And we've got, an epidemic going on really today where there's just too many chemicals coming in and the body can't get them out fast enough. And so you end up just getting like a body burden that's just overflowing. And, even I was trying to detox and do things like that. But if you're bringing it in at a faster rate than it's going out, which is most people,
right,
through food and air and products, then it's going to take its toll. And that's what happened to me. And doctors were like, go on the pill that'll induce your period. Go off the pill. Do this. Nothing was working. My body just was like, nope, it's not going to happen. And then when I started, cleaning up even my personal care products, everything from body wash to laundry detergent to makeup, everything I had to change. Then finally my hormones normalized.
Right.
It was a very long process.
Really interesting, though. And I think people don't even think, they don't think about it. They just think, oh, this just happened to me.
Yeah.
Or I have a strange rash. They don't know where that, I have hives or whatever.
Right.
And they just don't even make the connection to their homes.
Or they get used to it's okay, or you're supposed to get sick as you age.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's a normal part of aging. And the ironic thing is it's not. I mean, we're supposed to live optimally and have great health and have energy and not be popping pills just to get through the day. So, that's really where my passion comes from, because I'm living proof that you can live great and you can, be energetic and healthy and happy without having to rely on all of these medications.
Absolutely. If you're just joining us, this is Your Supernatural Life. I'm Beth Greer, and I'm speaking with Ron and Lisa Beres, and we're talking about Lisa's realization about her not feeling well back in 2002, and it had to do with her toxic home environment. And ironically, it was a brand new home. So you wrote this great book, you and Ron, Just Green It.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, and really easy, simple ways to, to avoid some of these chemical toxins. But let's just talk a little bit about, how people often assume that if it's on a store shelf, it's been tested for safety. And now that's not the case, is it?
That's not the case. And, it's true. Even family members, when I was going through this, they look at you like you're crazy. Like, well, no one would sell it if it was unsafe, if it wasn't tested. But the fact is, there's over 80,000 chemicals right now registered with the EPA for use, in our homes and what we wear and touch. Only less than 20% of those chemicals have ever been tested for their long-term effects on health and the environment. And so we are the guinea pigs. We're going out and trusting that everything's fine. And, you might see acute tests done on what are the acute symptoms if you were to swallow this chemical. There's testing done on that, but there's not long-term testing. What are the effects when you're exposed to this chemical daily?
Right.
Or what are the
synergistic effects? Right. When you're exposed to so many things in your makeup, in your food, in your house, everything. And so, yeah.
Yeah, and how do no one's testing how they interact together and what chemical reaction is being caused by these chemicals coming together in the body.
Right.
And that was the inspiration for Just Green It, literally, because we wanted to create a simple comparison. And the book does just that. It literally goes through hundreds and hundreds of different swaps you can do to not only help your health but the planet. And it has a visual description literally on the left of products, personal care products, household products that you should either green with, or on the right page, the ones you should skip. And it's been our passion ever since to kind of get the message out there.
And yeah. Beth, I'm sure you have experienced this too, where you're passionate about this, you're trying to educate someone, and they're really excited for like the first 10 minutes, and then they kind of tune out and say, whoa, that's too much information, you lost me,
right.
I'm not going to do all that. And I've seen that with a lot of people. It's information overload. So that's what's great about the book is, if you just want to look up cleaning products, you can just open to that section, and there you go. You've got your little factoids. You know which products to skip, and you don't have to be inundated with, a gazillion more tidbits of information if you don't want to.
Yeah. Now, you cover greenwashing in your book, which I think is really an important thing to talk about, these deceitful marketing tactics that companies are using. So talk about that. I mean, how are some ways companies are greenwashing their products?
Well, really through false terms, and misleading terms that make you feel that the product is organic or natural. Those are kind of loosely phrased terms that, if they don't have any backing by a third-party certification, there's no teeth to them. So literally, you're taking the company's word for it. that it is what it is. And so you really have to be cognizant as to what to look for in certain products that you're buying.
Right. I mean, even organic, in household cleaners, they can say, I know of brands that actually use the word organic in the title of the cleaning product, and there's nothing organic about it.
Huh.
So unless you've got the USDA certification or some third-party certification backing up.
And so it's legal for them to just use the word organic even if there's no organic ingredients?
Yeah, and people are starting to crack down on this now, but obviously the USDA oversees agricultural products, right?
Mm-hmm.
So anything that you buy at the supermarket or anything agriculture-wise, the standards are much more strict. But when it comes to personal care and cleaning, we're not there yet. They're not as stringent with these regulations, so they can actually use the word organic, and that's just meaningless. So that's an example of greenwashing.
Right.